With the campaign period heating up right now in America as they are approaching to the elections, the presidential elections, we have seen the debates now beginning, and Joe Biden embarrasses himself during the presidential debate with Donald Trump. You see, this is quite a lot to take for Joe Biden. We have seen Joe Biden in many occasions where it seems like the dementia of on him is taking a toll so seriously. But we are so surprised why the Democratic Party, the Democrats, would want to continue to push Joe Biden. Even in the last elections, you would see that Joe Biden could not make it. Joe Biden had a problem. He could not even campaign, and he used most of his time, underground. It was during the time of COVID, remember? And they said he spent most of his time, in the bunker down there, and he was not even, able to go around and campaign the way that we saw Donald Trump being able to go around many different states where he made large amounts of people coming to gather, for his rallies. But with Joe Biden, it was still a mystery how he won. But still remember, the many other states, it actually nullified the result that was announced finally in places like Arizona and the others, where they discovered that there was quite a lot of chicanery that had happened. So we never thought that in this upcoming election, the Democrats would still want to push Joe Biden again as a candidate. But we understand that there are powerful groups that want to see Joe Biden there because he is more of a puppet of these other groups, especially the deep state and the big tech. This is what happened. The big state, the deep state and the big tech are the ones that really want Joe Biden to continue. And you'd find that although he cannot physically, because the man is old, physically he is not capable anymore. Joe Biden has been in American politics for many years, over 50 years. So for him to be continuously being pushed as a horse, during a time like this, it really becomes very serious. Joe Biden has quite a lot of problems that he's facing now because of old age. At times he falls, at times, he loses his way, at times, he can just find himself going a different direction, a wrong direction altogether. And you see, one would wonder whether the Democrats are failing to come up with another candidate, because it seems like the situation that is with the ANC in South Africa is the same thing that the Democrats are also suffering from, where they look like they don't have a candidate that they can really, put in front. That's the same thing that ANC is suffering from. It seems like in the ANC, they don't have a formidable candidate other than Ramaphosa that they can front. This is why they are fighting so hard to push him in. And this has caused the problem with the coalitions where they ended up opting for the DA. But the DA is now coming back to bite them because the demands of the DA are now very taxing for them. We don't know whether they are going to finally agree. So when we see the Republican Party has quite a lot of candidates that can come in, people like Tom Cruise, people that can compete very well, and even the governor of Texas is a guy who can also campaign and be very powerful, because they are guys who are politically very mature, and they can push if they are given an opportunity to contest in elections. I still remember the lady governor of South Dakota is one of those other powerful Republicans who can also be a candidate that can stand a ground. So we want to continue to watch and see what is going to be happening in the American elections. And I'm going to be beginning to give you updates of what is going to be happening in America. We are stretching our wings, and I will see how much you are going to be interested in these other developments on the other side of the world. If you seem to be interested, then we shall be switching in full gear of giving you more and more of what is happening in the other world, in the first world. We need to see what is happening there, learn what is happening there, and also be very knowledgeable about what is happening, because we are living in a global world now. It is just one global world. We just, it's one global village where we need to be understanding what is happening also internationally, other than just only hearing about Emmerson Mnangagwa and ZANU-PF and Zimbabwe. So let's stretch our wings and also be touching Africa. We also want to be touching East Africa, West Africa. We need to be touching Central Africa. We need also to be going outside. We want to be touching what's happening in China, what's happening in the US, as we continue to give you more extensive information about what is happening in the world, in the politics of the world, because that's what is very, very important, because our politics is not isolated. That's why today we are talking about Emmerson Mnangagwa having gone to Russia and made a diplomatic shipwreck where he spoke wrongly there. And the same Russian President Vladimir Putin is a guy who also is engaged in the war against NATO, and the NATO countries also are interested in what is happening in Africa. They are also allies and partners of African countries, including those that are in the SADC. And the SADC now being also in a position to put a new chairman, where probably Mnangagwa will be going in if all things go according to their plans. But that also has an impact on what the Western countries say, what they think about it. But they do have an influence, of course, on that, because considering that Mnangagwa is under the US international sanctions, it is going to be also a very, very problematic thing. So we can't let or leave the Western world and the United States of America outside our politics. We need to now join these things, join them together, so that we can have a comprehensive understanding of what is happening in our politics in total, connecting the whole world. Because we saw Putin also beginning to move. There was a time I wanted to give the reports on what was happening to Putin as he went to North Korea, what happened there, and what it means, what are the implications of him going to Kim Jong-un and beginning to have a relationship. And for the first time ever in history, Putin landing in North Korea. So it means quite a lot, because there is now a relationship between China, North Korea, and Russia, which are the countries that are superpower countries that have nuclear war or nuclear warheads, and that means something to the war that is happening in Ukraine, and it also is affecting us also here in Africa. So, like I'm saying, it will be very important for us to spread our wings. I want to hear what you think. You have to tell me if you are interested in finding out what is happening. I can be telling you a lot that is happening in America, especially with the Democratic Party as well as the Republican Party, and the other issues that are happening right in the House of Senate and the other politics of America. We need really to have information about that. Very, very important for us. So, family, this is it. I hope you will be enjoying this other extension of our wings. If you need more and more, I'll hear from your comments. Otherwise, thank you so much for joining me on this show. We will continue to be giving you updates. But before I go, I want to show you the video that shows what happened in the presidential debates where Joe Biden has just been embarrassing himself.
But you continue to provoke. It's so sad. We got it down to 35. We got to significantly increase the credit. The idea, if you lose again, I will absolutely. There's nothing I'd rather do.
President Trump, as I come back to you for a follow-up.
Ever with me. And he's going to take how much prescriptions I need. You know what that did? That reduced the federal deficit. We are very, very close to World War III. And by the way, I told you before, I'm happy to play golf if you carry your own bag. Think you can do it? That's the biggest lie. He's a 6 handicap of all. I was an 8 handicap. Yeah. 8. Never. But I have, how many? I've seen you swing. I know you swing.
Okay, let's
not act like children.
President Trump, we're going to
let's not act like children.
You are a specific concern.
I'd like to see him take one, just one, a real easy one. Like go through the first 5 questions. He couldn't do it. Like any black student is capable in college of doing any white student can do. They just have the money, but now they'll be able to get. I've never seen him fire anybody. I did fire a lot. I fired Comey because he was no good. I fired a lot of the top people at the FBI, drained the swamp. They were no good. Out of the Paris Peace Accord, Climate Accord, we reached 1.5 degrees Celsius. And China, nothing, and Russia, nothing, and India, nothing. We provided thousands of millions of jobs. We have covered, if the ACA has increased, I made sure that they're $8,000. The idea that we're not doing any. We put more police on the street than any administration has. He wants to cut the cops. We're providing for equity and making sure people have a shot to make it. There's a lot going on. Malfeasance and others. And in addition to that,
to die from pregnancy-related causes, and Black Americans are.
And I spoke all about those. I don't think he knows what he said either. Look, we had the safest border in the history of our country. On the total initiative. What's he going to do, in fact, if they destroy our country?
President Trump, we will get to immigration later in this block.
Elder care, making sure that we continue to strengthen our health care system. What I'm going to do is fix the tax system. For example, we have 1,000 trillionaires in America. I mean, billionaires.
And that was painful. I love Joe Biden. I work for Joe Biden. He didn't do well at all. He did not do well at all. And he looked, I'll give you the analysis, kind of have the old man versus the con man. I can walk you through how I'm supposed to see it and say it, but I just want to speak from my heart. I love that guy. That's a good man. He loves his country. He's doing the best that he can. But he had a test to meet tonight to restore confidence of the country and of the base, and he failed to do that. And I think there's a lot of people who are going to want to see him consider taking a different course now. We're still far from our convention, and there is time for this party to figure out a different way forward if he will allow us to do that. But that was not what we needed from Joe Biden, and it's personally painful for a lot of people. It's not just panic, it's pain of what we saw tonight.